Hey y'all, it's Armani and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video I'm very excited to film because I feel like it's going to be super helpful. So I'm going to be going through how you can start your custom vending machine business. Now this is just for custom vending machines. It's not really for snack machines or drink machines. So I do just want to go ahead and let you guys know that now. But if you're ready to start your journey, go ahead and subscribe and keep watching. Alright, so the different things we're going to be talking about is finding the perfect machine, the perfect location, having a graphic designer come up with the design concept, and how much everything will cost. So I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions, make it super easy for you guys. I do also want to mention I do have an ebook that is very detailed. I won't be able to go over every question you should be asking, every piece of detail in this video. So make sure you go ahead and click the first link down below to go ahead and shop that ebook for more detailed instructions. Alrighty, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is finding the perfect machine. Now, before I used to say find the location, which I do think is equally as important, but the reason why I stopped saying find the location first is because I noticed that either the machines were taking so much longer than expected, so we would have to be paying for booth rent or to hold that spot before the machine even got here. So that's why I always say make sure at least the machine is very close to being delivered, or you already have the machine before finding the location. So this is why we're starting off with finding the machine first, and then we'll move on to the location. So where you want to go is Alibaba.com. Yes, they are overseas. I know that can be scary, nerve-wracking, but trust me, Alibaba is a very trustworthy site. You just want to make sure you're doing the perfect things to find the perfect vendor, and we're going to talk about that now. So when you go to Alibaba.com, you're going to type in vending machines. You can even type in custom vending machines, but as soon as you type in vending machines, you will see a list of vendors pop up, and what you want to do is make sure when you're clicking on these vendors profiles that they are the manufacturer and not a trading company. A trading company is basically like a middleman, so they're getting the supply from somebody else and then they're selling it to you, whereas the manufacturer, they're going ahead and building the product and sending it directly to you. So here on the screen I'll show you guys how to decipher that, because that's very important. And I also noticed that trading companies, they charge a little bit more because they're trying to make more up for the profit, if that makes sense. Next, you want to read reviews. I know this seemed like such an easy and simple statement, but that's where I messed up. Our first machine, I did not read any reviews like I should have. So when you're going to their profile, make sure you're reading reviews, and be careful because some vendors, they're tricky, they're slick. They'll try to copy and paste a review, and the way I started to notice that is because it would be the exact same verbiage for each review, and I'm like, something's not right. So you want to make sure you're going with a trustworthy vendor. You can even ask them to send you pictures of things that they have worked on or have done, but I say reading reviews are literally like the best thing to do. Next, you want to ask, of course, how much does this machine cost? I always recommend asking if you can pay half up front and then half once it's being shipped to you. The reason being is I just don't feel comfortable just sending someone all of my money. I feel like I can pay half for the design and the wrapping to be done, and then once I approve that design, then I'll go ahead and pay for it to be shipped to me. Another thing you want to make sure you ask is this going to be door-to-door shipping, or is it going to be I'm going to have to go through a shipping company? Now, for our first vending machine, I did not ask that, and it was a headache. So basically, the vendor told us a certain price. They said it would be $2,700, I believe, $2,700. Then they said at first that included the shipping. At first they said that would cover everything, good to go. And then when it was time to ship the machine, they had us working with a third-party shipping company, which is AMAS Shipping. And baby, just type in AMAS. You will see terrible reviews. They're terrible. I don't recommend them. So you want to make sure that they're doing door-to-door shipping, which simply means is they're taking it from their facility and shipping it directly to your location. You're not working with any third party. That is very important. It is sometimes a little bit more expensive, but honestly in the long run you're going to end up saving money, because with AMAS Shipping, who we went through, I believe it was $1,800, close to $1,800. And at the end of the video I'll go over the cost of everything with you guys, a cost breakdown, so you'll know exactly how much I spent. Next, you're going to want to ask them what format do you need your design sent in, because remember, you are getting this machine wrapped customly, so most likely 95% of the times the manufacturer is not going to design the machine for you. You're going to have to outsource a graphic designer to go ahead and make that design for you, and you're going to want to know what format, because it's not always the standard PDF format, so you want to be able to communicate that with your graphic designer. Next, you're going to want to ask for the measurements of the machine. This is vital because you're going to have this shipped to a location and you need to make sure it can fit through their door. I would hate for you to get a machine to your location and not be able to fit it through the door. I would be ready to fight. Okay, so we don't want you to be in that predicament, so make sure you get the measurements and you're going to want to send that over to your location. We'll talk more about that towards the end of the video. Next, you want to ask them, are they programming the card reader? Most vendors, they do provide the card readers and they go through Nayax. Nayax is very trustworthy. Most machines have Nayax on there. You want to ask them, have they already set up the profile with Nayax, or is that something you're going to have to do? It's very simple. You'll just reach out to Nayax. They'll ask for like your social security number, your EIN, your LLC, your business bank account. So you do want to make sure you have those things in order before even starting this process. And you want to start as soon as possible with having Nayax set up that card reader, because sometimes it does take about 2 to 3 weeks depending on things. A lot of places are short staffed, as you may know, due to the COVID pandemic, all of those things. So starting it ahead of time to make sure that by the time your machine is here, your card reader is already set up and you're able to make your money. Okay, so that is pretty much all for the vendors. If you have any questions regarding the topic of vendors, again, we do have that ebook and you can always ask questions down below. Next is all about finding your perfect graphic designer. Now, I recommend going to Fiverr. They have wonderful freelance designers, graphic designers on there for a super affordable price. We spent $50 on ours, and I don't feel like that's bad at all. When you do reach out to your vendor, when you do reach out to your graphic designer, you do want to provide them with the format that your vendor told you to create the design in. That's very important. They can't, like I said, always accept a standard PDF file. After that, you're going to want to make sure that they can do almost unlimited revisions. I would say at least 4 revisions, because honestly, you may have a design idea in your head, but once it's on paper, you might be like, I want to change that, I want to add this, the location said we can't have this, can you take this away? These things tend to happen, so you want to make sure that your designer is okay with doing multiple revisions. As soon as you have your design made, go ahead and send that off to the vendor, and then you also want to send it to your location, because our location, we are at a mall. We're actually in Southland Mall in Taylor, Michigan, so if you want to check us out, go ahead and do that. But before we had, I have a picture of my models, and they are topless, but it is tasteful, but the mall was like, we can't do that, they have to be clothed. So make sure you're sending your design to the mall ahead of time, so that way they can go ahead and verify that the design and everything is good. So let's go ahead and start talking about the location, the thing that I know you guys probably want to talk about the most. Alrighty, so finding the perfect location, it can seem stressful, overwhelming, and it is a big part of if your vending machine will be successful or not. I feel like it's one of the biggest things on whether or not your vending machines will be successful. What I always recommend is keep in mind, where is my target audience? What am I selling? Does it make sense to have a machine with lashes and hair at a hospital? Most likely not, right? So think about your target audience, think about where they're at. We chose a shopping center because we knew that we will be by stores that's mostly women based, so we're by like Windsor, Charlotte Russe, Forever 21, and most of our products, most of the time 95% is being shot by women, because again, we have hair accessories, lashes, hair oil, edge control, headbands, scrunchies, things like that. And I always recommend having about 3 to 4 locations in mind, because honestly, these machines are becoming super popular. So either the location already has a machine in there and they don't usually want 2 of the same type of machines, or they have other people that are already in the process of getting it set up and it's a little bit more competitive and things of that nature. So have multiple things in mind. Again, you don't have to only be at a shopping center. You can be in suites, a hair salon, the hospital, anywhere. Literally, you can have these machines anywhere as long as you're able to pay the price. Now, the way we reached out is via email. You can just go to wherever location you want, site, go ahead and find their number. In the ebook, we actually include the exact verbiage that we use to reach out to them. You do just want to make sure, again, you have your ducks lined up, like by having your LLC, your EIN number, your business just set up to look more professional, so that way they're taking you more serious. After you have gone ahead and reached out to them, they have agreed upon everything, you guys agreed on how much you're going to pay monthly, you want to start to ask them questions. You want to give them the measurements of the machine and say, hey, can this fit through your door? Do I have to bring my own equipment to get it moved in? Because our mall wouldn't allow us to use their equipment. Luckily, FedEx is the one that delivered our machine, so they were able to wheel it in for us, or else we would have had to rent like some type of, I think it's called like a dolly or something, to get it moved in. So that is something you want to ask. You also want to send them the design ahead of time, because like I mentioned, they can be very particular about how it will look. They want it to look aesthetically appealing, which makes sense. They don't want anything tacky. You will also want to ask, do you need a city permit? At first they told us we did. We reached out to the city and the city said we actually didn't. So you would want to go ahead and reach out to wherever city your vending machine is located, or even ask the location like, hey, do I need a permit to have this vending machine in here? It goes based off city to city, so it is something you want to keep in mind. I felt like that permit, we didn't have to get it, so I didn't look too deep into the prices, but I believe it was like $150. I don't remember it being super expensive, so don't worry about the pricing too much, but definitely reach out to get that. Ask them if you need insurance. We did need insurance. Our insurance was $348, which you think they would have just rounded up to $350, but they didn't. $348 for a year. And I definitely recommend that company. I cannot remember it off the top of my head, but everything will be linked down below. Anything that I'm talking about will be linked down below. You also want to ask, what time can you have the machine delivered? If you're going to be in a mall, most malls don't allow for things to get delivered, especially large machines, during the day when people are shopping. So you'll probably have to arrange it to be delivered early morning before the mall or wherever opens. Again, that depends location to location, but you want to make sure you're asking these questions, because asking questions ahead of time will save you a headache. Imagine you didn't ask what time you can have the machine delivered and you're showing up at 4 o'clock and they deny you. So now you have to find a storage unit or somewhere to hold it until you're able to get it delivered at the right time. So again, asking these type of questions, it's gonna save you a headache, okay? I'm telling you, trust me. So that pretty much wraps up everything, guys. We went over how to find the perfect location, the design, and where to find the machine. Lastly, we're just gonna go over how much everything costs before wrapping up this video. Alrighty, so first, the cost of the vending machine was $2,750, so close to $3,000. I did go into this business with a business partner, and this is something I recommend. So say you sell lashes and your friend sells hair extensions, or you sell mask and your friend sells hand sanitizer. It makes sense to do a vending machine together, only because you're splitting the cost in half and you're splitting the profit. So the way we do it is we have our top 4 rows with her products, and then the bottom 4 rows with my products. So whatever sells, I make the profit on it, and then we split the cost of the rent as well. So I mean, unless you're a big baller and you got it to get it on your own, then do that, but if not, that's always an option. Next, the mall security deposit was $350, and then moving forward we paid a monthly fee of $350. The mall insurance, as I mentioned earlier, was $348 for a year. The graphic designer, like I mentioned earlier, was $50. You may be able to find something cheaper or even more expensive depending on who you go with. And then because we didn't do door-to-door shipping, biggest regret, we spent a total of $1,700. So it was $1,785.78, which in total, the total cost of starting up this business was $5,238.78. So of course, things could be more expensive for you. It could be cheaper for you depending on what vendor you go with, what location you go with, if you have to get insurance or not, with graphic designer. Everything literally depends upon your decisions. However, I did just want to be transparent and share those numbers with you so you can know exactly what was spent. And again, keep in mind, I did go into this with a business partner, so cut that in half. That's about what, $2,500 each. So not that bad for a good return, and it's been awesome to get our business out there. So even if you don't make all your money back right away, the exposure has been great for my business as well as my business partner business. So again, don't forget to go ahead and check out that ebook. It has so much more detail. It has all the questions you should be asking and things of that nature. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. And again, if you have any questions, definitely feel free to leave those down below and I will respond. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and see you next time.